everybody, Palm Springs Cindy. I have a great video for you today. I'm going to share a great story with you, and then I'm going to share with you my groceries that I purchased at Trader Joe's this afternoon and talk about what they were and what I like about them. So I haven't been to Trader Joe's in so long. When I went there, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. And so I went crazy when I went crazy there. I mean, I just saw so many new items. Okay, well, before I get into that, I want to share with you, and I mentioned it the other day in one of my videos, that I was watching Netflix, and I ended up watching this series. I didn't finish the whole series, but it's called The Surgeon's Cut, and it's on Netflix. And the one that I watched that I absolutely fell in love with, and I want to share with you, because I want you to know about this story, and some of you may not have Netflix, but it was, the actual series is they take, I'm going to say four surgeons and tell their stories. Well, the one surgeon that it rocked my world. His name is Dr. Alfredo Quiñones Hinojosa, and he's from Mexico. And his story is that he grew up in Mexico and was raised by a single mother. And he always sort of had a wanderlust a mindset. And he used to live near a railroad track, and he and his cousins would walk along the railroad track, and because they would notice, of course, the trains going by. And as they would walk along the railroad track, he would think in terms of, I wonder what's out there. That, where does this train go? It's an unknown to me. Out there would be an unknown world. It's mysterious. And so he thought about far away places. And so one day as he got older, he decided to come to America. And so he watched how other people were jumping the wall, I'll say. And as Netflix is telling the story, they're cutting back from like him in the hospital being a surgeon, and then they flash back into like scenes that illustrated his life in Mexico. So so he decided, his mother, somebody that knew him, gave him $100, I think. Was that it? Okay, don't hold me on that one. Don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. Well, at any rate, okay, he jumps the fence and he gets to America. Well, he gets caught right away by the Border Patrol, and he spends the night in jail, and he's put on a truck the next morning, and they haul him back to Mexico. So he's thinking, great, now what am I going to do? So he decides he has to get more prepared. He's still determined to come to America. He realizes that he has to become more fit. If he's going to jump this fence and run, that he has to be able to do that. So he practices, and he gets, he builds his energy up, and he runs, and so he gets himself more fit to be able to jump over this wall. And so eventually he does. He jumps the wall. He comes to America. He actually, well, it's rough for him, but he gets a job as a migrant worker. And his job is to pull weeds in the cotton fields, to get the weeds away from the cotton. And he's actually working with a cousin, probably some other friends. And he lives in a truck, like a fifth wheel kind of a thing. And so one day he's pulling weeds, and he says to his cousin, I've decided I want to go back to school. And his cousin laughs at him, and he says, are you crazy? Don't you know that this is the only life for us? And, we don't speak English. We're here undocumented, and we need to count our blessings that we're here and that we have a job and so on. So that, he said, Dr. Alfredo's just couldn't accept that. So that very night he leaves. He runs away from the migrant camp, and he ends up getting a job. He gets one job, then he gets another job as a welder, and he's taught how to be a welder, and he actually becomes like supervisor and all that. Well, then as years go by and he's in America and he has these odd jobs, he's learning to speak English. Well, then the American government passes some law. Well, anyway, he becomes a citizen. And so from his citizenship, he goes to night school while he's working during the day. He goes to night school, and eventually he ends up at Harvard Medical School. And he says, in less than 7 years, I went from working the harvest to Harvard. It blew my mind. So he goes to, he becomes a neurosurgeon, and evidently he works now at the Mayo Clinic, and he is a premier neurosurgeon. That's why they put this focus on him. But what makes this so interesting is that he uses all these metaphors about his life in Mexico. Like, for example, he compares the brain. He says the brain is an unknown territory. It's a mystery. And he said, just like when I was a little boy and I would look down the railroad tracks and I would think, what is down there? It's unknown. It's a mystery. And then when he wanted to come to America, it would be, what's in America? What's it going to be like? It's a mystery. I want to conquer that. And he always had that mindset of, I can find a way. Well, so this is what he does that just fascinates me. He said that, like, when he has a patient, and the patient and his wife are part of this story. The patient has a brain tumor, and it's the second one he's had. He had one years and years ago that Dr. Alfredo took out, and then now it's back again. So he gets him ready for surgery, and I want to say this. I want to make sure I say this right. He says that the brain. He says the brain moves, that when you go into the brain and you put your hands on the brain, it's actually moving, it rises, and it moves to the beat of our heartbeat. And Dr. Alfredo says it's like a dance. The brain and the heart dance together. And he said the brain holds the secrets of humanity. We don't know that. We hardly know really about the brain. And that the brain is, gives us the power to talk and to move and to think and to dream. And so, he says, I really feel like the brain, it's very spiritual for him. And he said, when I've got my tools I'm using, and then he says, my feet are doing pedals that are helping me with instruments. And he said, I have like these, he said something about a mouthpiece that controls magnification. So he said, I'm actually doing a dance with the brain and the heart. As the brain is rising and the heart is beating and my feet are moving and my hands are moving and I'm looking for magnification. And he said, it's that when I realize that my hands are on his brain, I feel like the patient and I have connected. It's like our souls have connected. And it just gives me goosebumps to think about it. And so he goes on to say, and the movie goes on to show how Dr. Alfredo wants to keep himself like he boxes as part of his physical fitness, because he said when you box, you have to move and you have to jab and you have to flinch this way and that way, move quickly. Or let's say something goes wrong, I have to immediately be able to pivot and go with plan B or whatever. So I just think he says he feels connected to his patient's soul. He feels like he's dancing with the heart. So the way the story is told, it's one thing to be it's one thing to be a surgeon. It's another thing to be a brain surgeon. And so to come where this man has come from, and accomplish what he has accomplished, and his mindset, the way he thinks about the brain and his patients, and how he just feels he's on holy ground. So I wanted to share that wonderful story with you, and if you get a chance, do watch it. It's on Netflix. It's called The Surgeon's Cut, and Dr. Alfredo Quinones is the one that's on the brain. So imagine going from Harvard to Harvard in less than 7 years. And now he's the premier neurosurgeon at the Mayo Clinic. Wow. Okay, stay tuned, because the next section coming up is my grocery shopping. And I wanted to mention I'm wearing Raquel Welch Wavy Days wig. And so I thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, you guys, hang in there. Take a look at this basket of goodies from Sam's Club, from Trader Joe's. And I'm going to be going over these items with you because this is what I purchased a little while ago at Trader Joe's. Hello, you guys. Today I have sort of a different video for you. I had to leave the house early this morning and have my teeth cleaned. And after that, I stopped by Trader Joe's to do some grocery shopping. I was undoing putting my groceries away, and I thought, hey, this would be something fun to share with my YouTube friends. So I'm going to share with you some of the items that I did buy today at Trader Joe's. So I want to start by sharing some of the items that I bought that need to be refrigerated so that I can get them back into the refrigerator. But one of the things that I love from Trader Joe's is their chicken salad. It's delicious. Chicken salad with white chicken meat, cranberries, and pecans. It's really delicious. Lemon basil. This is a lemon basil pasta salad. And, I could have... this will last for 2 lunches, or a side dish for dinner, and then for lunch as well. So good. I'm not sure how much you can see. Okay, another kind of a side salad is the Mediterranean style orzo pasta salad. Now I have not had this, but I just had it. Looked so good to me, and once again, this could be a lunch for 2 or a side dish for dinner. So I'm loving that. Pico de gallo and some corn chips. This is especially nice to have around when you have company or dropovers. I'm always a sucker for these pre-made salads, and I bought a few that I have not had before. So the Miso Crunch chopped salad kit. I love these, they're so convenient, they're always good, and everything you need is right here in this bag. Mediterranean style salad kit. And then the peanut and crispy noodle salad kit. So I'm loving these. One Christmas, I found this champagne at Trader Joe's, and it was quite a long time ago. In fact, it was when they had their $2 chuck. I bought this. It's a German brand, and it is delicious. So if you are on the lookout for a special bottle of champagne, this is the one. And it's not expensive. It's not one of those real expensive champagne brands, and it's absolutely delicious. Speaking of $2 chuck, I haven't bought this in so long, mostly because I have not been to Trader Joe's. So I did get a Pinot Grigio, and I got a Sauvignon Blanc. I'm not really a wine drinker. I used to love wine, but anymore it gives me a headache. But it's nice to have if you have company. And sometimes, I do feel, especially on a hot evening, a nice cold glass of wine does sound really good. Along with that, I got some essentials, lemons and limes. What's better than these sweet grape tomatoes? Actually, what happened when I got when I picked these up, this opened and they all fell out in my basket and all over the floor. Okay, not great. But luckily, the worst part was just getting them out of my basket, because, you know, they were just littered on top of everything. And then luckily a gentleman came by and said not to worry, he would sweep the floor. I was standing there and did stand there so no one would walk by and step on the tomatoes. Fat-free refried beans. You know, I love making a corn tortilla or a flour tortilla with some beans, a little cheese, and if you have some salsa, it makes a great lunch. I can't live without my kosher dill pickles, and it was time to buy a fresh jar. My olives, black olives. And I was thinking, when I was thinking and picking out the salads, I picked up a can of these white kidney beans. I like to throw these, actually they're great northern beans. I like to throw these in with my salad to give it more protein and a little more oomph. I saw these, I don't often see these at the store, and I really like these little crumpets. First of all, they are hardly any calories, and they are, okay, they're at 100 calories. Let's see, I guess they're 100 calories each, but there are not many, why did I think these were less calories? And you can see they're thick. You could almost cut that in half. Total fat, 0. Cholesterol, 0. And it says total carbs, 22. Fiber is less than 1. That's not good. So anyway, protein, 3 grams. So those are the big things that I look for. But anyway, crumpets, I found these at Trader Joe's, and they're great with little jam or with your scrambled eggs or whatever. So don't forget about those. They're just a little bit different, and they're not any more expensive. Probably, I think, less expensive than the regular loaves of bread. I found 2 items that I had never seen these before, so I bought them. I hope they're going to be good. This says it's khichdi, a hearty traditional South Indian blend of grains, vegetables, and spices. And you just put this bag in the microwave and you're good to go. Let's see, microwave, let's see, cut 2 inches, a 2-inch slit in the corner, microwave for 1 minute. And it's juicy in there. And I also bought a yellow tadka dal, a savory blend of lentils and spices. Same thing, slice, make a slice and then microwave for 1 minute. So I think these are great to have on hand. Today when I went to the periodontist, I left about 8:20 and it was already 91 degrees. And then on the way back, after going to the grocery store and everything, was 116. So it is a hot one today. In fact, I wanted to go to the pool, but it's almost too hot to go to the pool. Just to get in my car and drive up there, forget it. Forget about it. All right, I have something else that I want to share with you that Eric bought. He brought it over. I think he got tired of me always saying, when he would call or text to say, I'm on my way over, I'm going to stop at the store, what can I pick up? And I would always say, oh, we need ice. So let me show you what he bought. Follow me over here. I still have my pantry door open. This is from Amazon. It's a portable ice maker. And I'm going to stand back so you can kind of see. Now, I don't like these cords, but what are you going to do? I actually do have, and there's my little bar area. I normally have my limes cut up, my lemons and limes cut up there, and then I add some cocktail napkins to the tray. But those are from my mother. So anyway, here's the ice maker. Look, it's very portable. It's very portable. You lift the lid. There's a little scooper. Now I have it on large, so these are considered the large ice cubes. And then it will fill this little tray all the way up. It tells you these light up, like if it needs more water, or it says the ice is full, the power is on. Do I want S for small cubes, L for large? So if these are the large, you know, the small is half that size. It makes plenty of ice. I mean, I think I've had this on constantly. And when it fills up, well, actually, it's only filled up a couple times because I'm always grabbing ice to put in my drinks. Well, okay, you guys, I wanted to address something that did probably sound confusing. In my last video, I mentioned that that was the ice. In my last video, I mentioned, hi, sweet girl, that I had Botox. And a couple people said, well, why would you have Botox when you just had your face lift? And I said, well, here's the deal. Because at night, I'm scrunched. I'm like, you know, and so it causes these wrinkles, and they're called the 11s. So I get really bad 11s. Doesn't matter if you've had a facelift or not. And so you can have Botox and just have, you know, like I said, I asked her to just get rid of my 11s. And so she did it. It certainly does help. And so anyway, that's the explanation behind the Botox. So with that, you guys, I think I'll leave you. I wanted to share my grocery shopping and some of the items I bought. So P.S. I love you. Mwah. Until our next conversation. Bye-bye.